Hello everybody, my name is Gabby Turner. If you're new to me, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad you found me. And if you're returning, I'm glad you found me again, because I think a lot of people don't find me again. But in any case, we're going to be looking into your love connection, and we're going to be asking the question, do the two of you have what it takes to make it long-term? What's the long-term potential? Can you make it work for the long-term? So we've got three options here, and two of these goddesses I'm very unfamiliar with. I'm not super familiar with either of them, but option number one is a Vietnamese goddess called Lieu, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but it is okay. And it says here, she blesses you with gifts of talent and confidence to blaze that trail of individuality. So this is the group number one, if you just feel drawn to that energy. The reading does not pertain to anything that she represents necessarily. These are just options to help you tune into your intuition and find the reading that's right for you. Reading number two is represented by Morrigan. She's a Celtic goddess of shape-shifting, I believe it said. And she helps you tune into the cycles of life. All right. And the third one here, reading number three, is, let me see here. She's an Indonesian goddess, Nyai, Loro, Kidnl. She's a mermaid goddess guiding you through this next stage of your life. So get ready to overcome, transform, and transcend. So this is what she does. It says, as always, you have to be the one to make the effort. So start dreaming big. So I guess she helps you to dream big and start that new phase of life. So here we have option number one, option number two, and option number three. So the timestamps will be below. Go ahead and just tune into your intuition and figure out which of these three options is meant for you. And I'll see you there. All right, group one, you chose this goddess, who I'm going to pronounce her name Lieu, and that may or may not be correct. She is very beautifully depicted here in this Legendary Ladies Goddess Oracle deck. It's the deck that this came from. So, So the question, I'm using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck for you all, the old classic, and I shuffled it, and the Tower card is on the bottom of the deck, which is not a great way to start a reading with the intention of, are you going to last long term? Because the Tower card has to do with things falling apart. But, you know, sometimes we have relationships where there is a lot of falling apart, and sometimes things have to fall apart before they can fall together. We also, when I split the deck, we have the King of Swords, which is more of that, you know, potentially like air sign, Aquarian energy in particular. The Tower card is sort of planet Uranus, Sun, Aquarius, I think. But anyway, it's a sort of like destabilizing force. And then the King of Swords, you know, air energy, it's swift, it's changeable. You know, the wind can change directions very quickly. There's passion, though, in the wind, you know. I also get the Hermit card, like the overall energy. I haven't even gotten really started into the reading, but the overall energy is someone, perhaps both of you in this connection, but at least one of you is someone who really needs a lot of independence. And it's funny because I think I even said this in the intro, I didn't intend for these goddess cards and what they mean. This one says it's about individuality, blazing your own trail in life. I don't intend for that to necessarily tie into the reading. It's not meant to be like a clue, you know, for what the reading is about. But in this sense, it does correspond so far with someone who is a little bit iconoclastic. And again, I'm not sure if it's both of you or one of you, but this personality trait, we'll find out more about it when we get into the reading. This personality trait is affecting your all's ability to make this work long term, because someone here needs a lot of space. Someone here, someone here needs a lot of space sometimes. Maybe someone here needs to be very introspective, very withdrawn, kind of not very social. Someone here is not social. And that definitely affects the relationship. Okay, so let's do my 3-card spread. I'm going to hold up the cards here so you can see them as well. But okay, so this card is representing you, the King of Pentacles, regardless of your gender, doesn't matter. The shared energy is the 4 of Wands, and then their energy is the Death card. So feel like you are probably the one who is bringing more of the potential for stability, because this is the King of Pentacles, the King of Earth energy. The earth cements itself. The earth is firm. It's difficult to move, right? So you are bringing the energy that is grounding this relationship, or the potential for it to be a relationship, the potential for it to be long-term is coming from you. Now, this other person is bringing so much change energy with the Death card. It's like someone who needs to go through this, like this phoenix experience, you know, where the phoenix, it's this mythological bird that bursts into flames, and then it's reborn of its own flames, and it has to go through this process over and over. This person has that energy where it has to almost self-destruct or demolish the old self or the old way of being, and then be born anew. I feel like on your end, you have what it takes to stick by someone who is like this. It's almost like you could be the launch pad in their life, right? The launch pad doesn't go anywhere. This person's like a rocket ship. They're shooting up to the stars, they're coming back. They're shooting up to the stars, they're coming back, right? They need something to return to. They need this firm foundation that you represent. So actually, we're still going to look more into it, but actually, it's starting to make sense here. I mean, I feel this is almost like opposites attract type of energy. It's like this person is just they're a bit of a rolling stone. I don't even think the phrase rolling stone cuts it. This person, like I said, they need to go through these cycles of upheaval, change. You know, like shedding their skin. They need to shed their skin over and over. And you are someone who represents, they feel okay with you. You still excite them. They can find this shedding of skin in other aspects of their self or in other aspects of their life. I don't feel like they need to shed you out of their life. So that's a good thing. And I think you represent a solid foundation for them. So we're going to find out more what's in it for you as well. You know, like, do you just have to be the rock that they can lean on? And, you know, like, there has to be more to it than you. Maybe it's just exciting for you. But the shared energy is the 4 of Wands, and that is very positive as well. You know, like, this is often seen as a card that is depicting a wedding ceremony, right? So there is this spirit of being happy to be committed to each other. Like, it makes me happy, or I know that being in your life brings me more happiness than I would have otherwise. So there is definitely a motivation to make it go the distance on both ends. So let's look a little bit deeper here. Okay. Okay, so you're coming up as the 6 of Swords reversed. I don't think that this is always very easy for you to be the rock for this person. I was just saying that. Yeah, and then we have the Devil card clarifying it. It's not easy for you. To be honest, I think that there are times when this dynamic is actually a bit toxic for you. It's almost like a poison, but this person is a poison that you can't put down. I mean, upright, the Six of Swords is a card of healing. Reversed, and especially paired with the Devil, this person may not necessarily be good for you. And then the shared energy here is the Seven of Cups. It's almost like the two of you have a sort of, I would say this is a bit of a toxic dynamic where maybe you're so much in this hall of mirrors that you don't even realize it's toxic, or maybe neither of you have ever had a healthy relationship, so you don't know what to compare it to. So you're like, sometimes it seems unhealthy, but other times it seems good, and I don't know, I'm just doing my best over here. But I do feel like you might be a little bit addicted to this person, maybe a little bit addicted to being that rock. We have more earth energy. The Devil is Capricorn energy, and then before you were represented by the King of Pentacles. So it's like you're wanting to stand by this person, kind of though, but because could be a little bit of codependence, but there's a bit of a sort of addiction going on here. Maybe even getting addicted to the highs, the emotional highs and lows that such a person represents. Someone who has all of these dramatic upheavals, cycles that we mentioned before, that can be like a hit of a chemical drug in a way, like it, which is kind of the Seven of Cups, like this emotional burst of emotional intensity that comes from that, of like kind of never knowing what to expect from someone. And then they're coming through as the Knight of Cups. Like, this person is very charming, they're very loving. Like, when they express their love, like it could be very poetic and very sweet and just like dreamy in a way, like that's where the sweet, chemical appeal comes from. It's like, this person can really, I think, sweep you off their feet when they are feeling cozy and social, and like, they want to say those sweet nothings and all of that, like, and it's genuine. They're not making it up. They're not playing you. I think it is genuine. Is there anything else that we need to know about this person themselves that you're asking about? I think, I was saying that it does seem toxic a little bit, this relationship, but I will say this person has the desire and the interest to have a lot of balance and bring balance to the relationship. Like, I think they have self-awareness. I think this person is self-aware. They do know that that they have this upheaval quality, like they're aware of it. They know that they're the phoenix rising from the ashes over and over. They know that. And so I think that they want to be fair to you in some kind of way. They're like, I want to give back to you, or like make up for this upheaval that I'm causing. I want to balance it out in some way. This person really cares about you. You should know that. They really, really care about you. And then, again, we have this King of Swords. It's like they care about you so much, but sometimes when they need space, it's almost like, whether you see it this way or not, this person is like, you need space from me. Like, I need to take space sometimes, but like, isn't it good for you too? Be honest. It's good for you when I take space, because that means you get space from me. But, yeah. But they do need space. They know that also that taking space is part of what they have to make up for as well. Like, so what do they, how do they feel like they need to make up for it? Sometimes they don't even know. They do have anxiety about that. They're like, I know I'm a weird person. I know, I have these cycles that I go through. I know that I need space sometimes. Like, they want you to feel so loved. They don't want to be this person who detaches like this and for it to hurt you. I mean, they don't necessarily mind taking space sometimes because they kind of need it, and it almost like it's therapeutic to them. Like, they just need that refresh of like, okay, I need to be in my own energy, need to go over here and introvert hard, or whatever. But they never want it to make you feel unloved. They want you to feel an overwhelming overflow of love, and it does make them anxious because it's like, even when they're taking space, this person is looking over their shoulder. They're thinking about you, but they can't have you right in front of them all the time. Just like for their personality, it's not going to work for them. I know some of you are thinking, well, they could if they wanted to. You might be right. But I do feel like, to this person's credit, I do feel like they are extremely sensitive, and that also is why they need to withdraw sometimes. It's like they get overstimulated easily. Could be, this person could be autistic or on the spectrum or something, but regardless of any of that, because we're not diagnosing people here, they're so sensitive that interpersonal things do really overwhelm them. So sometimes that is part of what causes that upheaval, is just like, okay, there's too much social stimulation. Even if to you it doesn't look like much, it's like, okay, we've just, we talked a few times, we've texted throughout the day, or texted for several days in a row, like, or whatever it is, like, spent the evenings together after work every day. Like, from your perspective, it may not seem like that much has been required of this person, but socially they get overextended very easily because they have a heightened sensitivity. They might be like an INTJ or an INFJ personality type. But definitely an introvert of some kind. They're definitely an introvert. That part is true. What should you know about yourself in this connection, group 1? Queen of Swords. Like, I mean, they were coming through as the King of Swords. You're coming through as the Queen of Swords. So there is a similarity here. Like, there is a point of understanding, because, and then it's paired with the Judgment reverse. It's like, maybe you don't necessarily go through the same sort of shedding of the skin, right? Because you're coming through with all that earth energy that we talked about before with the King of Pentacles. So maybe you don't go through the same sort of upheavals or like big dramatic, whatever's like cycles that they go through. But you do understand it at some level with this Queen of Swords. Like, I think you understand the need to maybe put yourself first sometimes, or just do your own thing. Have your own life separate from the relationship. Like, going the distance in a relationship means that we can figure out the balance. I mean, some couples, they're tied at the hip and that's what works for them. Other couples have a lot of distance. Some are somewhere in between. Like, I think that the two of you, because I'm getting the Lover's card, I think that you do have what it takes to figure out what balance of that is right for you, because both of you do have other aspects of your lives that you need to focus on sometimes. Maybe you like watching telenovelas and your partner doesn't. What you're gonna want to spend time watching your telenovelas, like, it takes a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it happens to be. Or like, you're a Hogwarts Harry Potter nerd like me. Like, my partner may not be interested in that, but I may still want to spend time in that universe, doing things that are Harry Potter themed. We all have things like that. So I think that you do understand and respect, and I do feel overall that you all do have the potential to go the distance. I would just say this is the final tarot card, and then I've actually got a fortune cookie for each group. We'll just see if it ties into the reading or not. The final card here is the Four of Cups. So it's like, I think what your spirit guides are trying to point out is that this connection may not be perfect, this relationship, whatever it is, it may not be perfect, but it's solid. You know, something that I think people often miss about the Four of Cups is that, first of all, there are already 3 cups. The Three of Cups is about celebration and happiness. Usually it has like 3 women dancing. It can be depicted in different ways, but in the Rider Waite, it has 3 women dancing. So it's about celebration and good times. Here we have an extra cup being added. It's kind of like, for one thing, like just generally speaking, the Four of Cups is kind of good for an emotional connection because, and I know you won't hear most tarot readers say this, but all of the 4 cards are about a firm foundation. In a way, it's like establishing something being established. You know, if something has 4 sides, like a cube, whatever, it can sit firmly on the ground. And it's harder to topple over, right? There's a foundation here. There's an emotional foundation, but also when we get to that point, when we get to a comfort zone, this is kind of what this Four of Cups is. When we get into a comfort zone, we start to kind of take it for granted. We start to kind of be a little bit fussy. And it's like, we focus about this isn't perfect and that isn't perfect. But like, this person is your comfort zone. It just maybe sometimes almost like too much of the comfort zone. And then going back to your all specific situation, you know, too much time with each other could be, for you all, is just the issue that has to be resolved, you know, like just balancing that out. And that may continue to be somewhat of an issue for the 2 of you, but like I said, I kind of feel like there's a sense of understanding on both sides. I know I said before that could be a little bit of a toxic addiction that you have to this person, but you know, seen differently, maybe it's just passion, right? Let's see if the passion, and you feel so passionately for this person that you don't want to move to greener pastures, right? 6 of Swords reversed. You're not seeing any other greener pastures. You know, you found the one who is right for you and you don't want anyone else. I mean, it takes getting to that point to finally settle down, right? And to decide to no longer be single. Let's see if the fortune cookie here can give us any more insights for you, group 1. Okay. It says your journey is blessed with opportunities for growth. So that's wonderful. Like, I feel like the 2 of you have what it takes to continue to grow with an underlying stability. Yeah, your journey with this person is blessed with opportunities for growth. So I would say, like, this relationship, it checks out. It has what it takes to go the distance, you know, with all of the nuances that were brought up. And then the learn Chinese word on the back is medium. Oh, I feel like that this is giving a meaning to the reading too. Like medium, it's not small, it's not large, it's medium, like average. Which is kind of the Four of Cups too. It's like things are average. They're not awful. They're not like amazingly perfect. They're kind of just average. You guys, you're like the average couple just making it work. Well, great. If you're wanting to settle down, which I feel like both of you do, if you haven't already settled down, you want that with each other. I'm shuffling the card. The Tower card keeps coming up at the bottom of the deck as well. I think in a way, this Tower energy works for the two of you because it's never really going to get boring, right? The Four of Cups is telling you sometimes maybe the two of you could get sort of disenchanted with each other, or even disenchanted with the relationship when it gets too comfortable. But there's always going to come a time at some point where there's more of this phoenix burning up, you know, bursting into flames. The shake sheds its skin. There's a sort of excitement about it. Like, it's not, I don't know if this is what just keeps the fire burning for the two of you, the fact that there's this quality, but I don't know, it keeps a sort of nice equilibrium existing for the two of you. So I hope that helps. I'm not sure what else to say about it. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my links below if you want to get a personal reading, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, group 2, you chose the Morrigan. I need to learn more about, or Morrigan. I feel like I've heard her called the Morrigan, or is that something else? Anyway, Goddess Morrigan, Celtic goddess, group number 2. In the book it said something about shape-shifting. Now I'm curious. I'd like to learn more about her. But in any case, that's the goddess that you chose. And we're looking into the question of you and your person of interest. It could be your partner, it could be a crush, but do the two of you have what it takes to go the distance? Do you have long-term potential? So I've thoroughly shuffled the deck, and on the bottom of the deck we have the Four of Wands. Now, first of all, this is a good sign for yes, like you're compatible. I would say there's really great compatibility and a mutual desire to commit. All right, and when I split the deck, I get the King of Wands, and then the Four of Wands, of course, is still here. Excuse me. Throat is gurgling. Yeah, there's sort of an excitement here, a free-spirited quality. What does the King of Wands look for in a long-term partner? Excitement, someone who they can always go on new adventures with in some sense, either traveling or trying new things. They see you as an exciting partner and vice versa. All right, so there's strong compatibility. We get that. So let's look more into it. What's the long-term potential for group 2 and their person that they're watching this for? Okay, wow. Okay, so the shared energy is the Strength card, which is great. Kind of goes along with that King of Wands. You know, the Strength card is the sign of Leo. The King of Wands is fire energy. Leo is a fire sign. Doesn't mean anyone involved has to be a Leo. I just process things astrologically. It helps me to kind of make sense of things, but I love seeing the Strength card in romance readings because it's very connected to the heart chakra. Just this big, you know, like think about cats. They purr, like they have such a very visceral expression of their love. When they're happy, they want you to know they're happy, and they want their happiness to make you happy. You know, it's like very cuddly, it's very warm, it's very expressive, the sign of Leo. And yeah. And then, of course, there is always that struggle for dominance, which also is depicted on the Strength card, but it's like the struggle for dominance in and of itself is an expression of love. Are they going to let you have a little bit of dominance and not have to be the totalitarian king about everything? Because if they will, that is also an expression of love. You know, they're softening their heart for you, and vice versa. This is the shared energy. So I would say both of you probably have some of that sort of regal prima donna energy in your own way of kind of needing a lot of attention, you know, needing to be pet, so to speak. needing to be admired. But when I look at your individual energies here in the 3-card spread, you're represented by the 5 of Pentacles and they're represented by the 7 of Pentacles. So I feel like both of you are concerned with the long-term, the longevity. Both of you want that longevity, but it's almost like you also both see problems or areas that need to be improved. So we have the 2 of Wands with your card here, clarifying it. You know, I think you can tell, and then we have 2 people on the 5 of Pentacles together. Like, you can tell that there's compatibility. Oh, it's like we're partners. We are partners. It feels that way to you. And what do partners do? They work through things. When 2 people are truly partners, I mean, that's what the word means, right? It's not just, it means that we have decided to be a team, right? We are a team. It's not just that we're attracted to each other, although you both are, but it's like we are deciding that we are going to do this thing together. We are going to make it happen together. When we're going through the tough times, we're going through the tough times together. We're a tag team. Like, nobody's going to have to do this alone. That's the energy that you're bringing. And the energy that they're bringing, I don't know. It's like, to me, they do have things they're planning behind your back. I'm not saying that they're cheating or being disloyal, but I think they feel, I don't know, it's like, well, I don't exactly know what this is, but there's something here that they keep hidden from you, that is for sure. And it has to do with their money. I think it has to do with their money, that maybe they don't feel like they need to share. Okay, let me just ask, do they feel like they need to share their money with you, or no? No. I'm getting a no card. Yeah, even sort of a cold or iciness about it. The King of Swords reversed and the Death card reversed. They do not feel that they need to share their money with you, and so they're not telling you everything about their money, but that's their focus right now. They want to be making money. You know, when I asked about this 7 of Pentacles, I also pulled a card each here. I'm like, well, in what way is this 7 of Pentacles about this person making money? Got the King of Pentacles. And in what way is that 7 of Pentacles about the relationship? We get the Lovers. So it's about both. But they want to be financially stable, but at the same time, like, they don't feel like they need to share their money with you. This is not someone, and you may or may not know this already, but this is not someone who wants to have like a shared bank account with you kind of energy. Tell me more about this. Why are we learning this? This is, I mean, it's important, but okay, we have Judgment, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. I don't know if this person is necessarily trusting. It's not that they don't want this relationship to go the distance. I mean, if you all were in a position to be married and there was a prenup involved, they would not want to sign over anything to you in a prenup. It's that type of energy. Like if they had money, I'm not sure how much money they have, because to me, however much money they have, they are focused on increasing it. But it's almost to me like, well, if anything should ever happen, I want to make sure that I have my own money. I think that they have trouble trusting that you'll be around forever. This person, it's almost like they feel like they're going to die alone. And that could just be a fear they had, but they feel that they're going to die single or die alone. I don't know if it's necessarily what they want. I mean, they do have romantic feelings for you, but they have some hang-ups about sharing money because they can't trust that the relationship will last. So to summarize what we've said so far, like, you both love each other. There is strong compatibility here. But I don't think this person is really trusting it the way that you're trusting it. That's kind of the bigger difference in mindsets right now. You're kind of trusting, hey, the two of us have what it takes. We're partners. We can get through anything together. But on their end, they're not sharing everything with you. They're not telling everything to you. I mean, I feel that they respect you. They think that you are maybe financially sound regardless, that you don't need them to provide that to you. I think they feel that more what they provide to you is the excitement, maybe the D, like, or the physical intimacy, and that aspect of romance, like, interesting conversation, like that type of thing is what they feel like they're bringing to the table, I guess. They do feel like there is a sort of like erotic attraction between the two of you, but I don't know if this person is younger than you or maybe just younger in their personality or something, or their approach to life, but they feel like it's almost like the pool boy, like the pool boy is, they feel like that's more their role in the relationship. They're okay with it, but they also are like, well, if the pool boy is going to have an affair with this older, wealthy woman, he's not going to tell her if he has some like business in mind that he's planning that he's going to make a bunch of money off of, right? That's kind of this person's mindset. Yeah, I think this person does really like spending time with you, but I don't know if they are really seeing this as something that has long-term potential. They're definitely not banking on it. They're banking on, I need to make money. That's what they're banking on. So what is the compatibility? Because at the beginning it felt, and here's that same card coming out again. It was just shuffling. What's the compatibility then? If, I mean, they want that. They want it to be the case that the two of you are partners. They do feel the love. It's just they don't have faith that that is actually what's happening. Whereas you do have the faith that the two of you are partners. You're in it to win it together. You've got each other's back. They are just having trouble trusting that. And so right now they're looking out for number one in terms of their own finances, and with the anticipation that things are not going to work out for the two of you long term. That's just their mindset. I don't know what else to say about it. Anything else you should know about this person? They're very attracted to you. Like emotionally, like deep, deep, deep emotions, right? They're in their feelings, but also like the sexual, physical attraction here is very strong, and they love the communication between the two of you. I think this person with the Four of Pentacles reversed, they have trouble feeling that sense of security. And I don't think it's because of you specifically. I think it's because of it's just how they are. And I also feel like with this Hermit reverse, this person is someone who's afraid to be alone. It could be the type of person who's had a lot of relationships that were just like, I don't want to be single, so I'm just going to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. And yeah, they don't have a lot of experience with actual commitment, because when you get into a relationship just to avoid having to be single, it's not really the same as we're in it to be partners and to make a team effort. So they don't have a lot of experience really building a relationship. It's hard for them to trust that a relationship will last. What is the advice to group 1 here? Well, I think it's like kind of like love and having faith yourself. If you can have faith in the potential of this relationship, that will help, because this person just isn't going to be able to have that faith right now. Just because they don't have that faith doesn't mean that they don't want it, because like I said, they do seem to want it. I'm not sure what else to say here about this relationship, but I do have a fortune cookie, and maybe the fortune cookie message will give us some final insight here. Time heals most things. Give them time. You might have to give this person time. I think the word them here is referring to most things. Time heals most things. Give them time. And on the back, the learned Chinese phrase is, see you next time. Maybe the two of you will have to have pauses as you go along. You'll have to give them time. This issue of taking space came up in group 1 as well, but yeah, in order for this to go the distance, you'll have to give them time. You'll have to give the relationship time to develop, and maybe you'll have to give this person time to get to the point where they can trust that this relationship is one in which you are an equal partner to them, and vice versa, where they can really trust that. So that's what I'm getting out of it. I hope that it helps. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello, group 3. You chose this mermaid goddess, Nyai, Loro, Kidnl, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. We don't need to we don't need to focus on it too much. We're not going to fixate. I guess I'm the one fixating. Anyway, that's the goddess that you chose. And I've shuffled the deck. Of course, we're asking the question, do the two of you have what it takes to go the distance? The card on the bottom of the deck is the Page of Pentacles. So that is a good sign overall. Sort of a slow build. A slow and steady wins the race, right? You're going at a slow pace, but it's a pace that will pay off in the long term. That's kind of my immediate... my immediate feel for that. Just dropped a card in the floor. Let me try and get that. I got to see the back of my hair. It's looking a little crazy. Okay, Page of Cups. So we have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. Yeah, maybe this is, I would say, before I even pull any in-depth cards, like the type of connection or relationship, if you will, where maybe the two of you are learning a lot about love, learning a lot about relationships, both the emotional aspects and also the more practical aspects of making it work, making it last. You know, How do we handle the amount of time we spend together, the practical things, which the Pentacles represents? How do we handle the money aspect of making it work long term? Those types of things. It's almost like the two of you are learning that together. Doesn't mean that you are both young, although you definitely might be. But it means that regardless of your ages, you're young in a sense because you're learning this together. I feel that the two of you are learning together how to make a relationship work long term. So that's the initial feeling that I'm getting. All right. What else do we get here? Okay, the card representing you is the High Priestess. The shared energy is the Death card. And their energy is the Six of Swords. Wow. So going a little bit deeper, what do we find out about this? I'm just going to use the word relationship. I know that some of you may not technically be in a relationship, but just take it for what it's worth. Connection, relationship, they kind of mean the same thing in this sense. But, So you're learning together. I feel, first of all, that you, group 3, are the type of person that holds a lot of things in. There are a lot of things that you don't know how to reveal to other people with this High Priestess card. You're a bit of a mystery. You're mysterious. It's not necessarily that you want to be mysterious. I think sometimes you may even have trouble understanding yourself, but also it's like some of the things about yourself, you're not sure if you can trust people with that information. Now, the shared energy is the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, and so I feel that both of you at some level have a lot of secrets. You have a lot of, we have also Seven of Cups coming up to clarify that Death card, and that's more Scorpio energy. It's Venus in Scorpio is the association with this card. So, yeah, there are secrets. Things that you keep hidden. Maybe things that you don't even totally understand. Experiences that you've had that you don't totally understand, either because they were traumatic or they were out of the ordinary in some way. You know, could be paranormal, extrasensory perception, you know, with High Priestess and the Death card, like they both can indicate that type of thing. I'm sorry, my throat keeps gurgling. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but if it is, I'm sorry. Yeah, like I think that you are not sure who you can share all of this with. Even this person, you're not sure yet. Like, should I tell them some of the things, you know? Should I tell them about that time I was abducted by aliens? Or what, you know, will they lock me in the loony bin? You know what I mean? It may not be that specific thing. Or should I tell them about this particular traumatic thing that, like I had a, what is it called? A resurfaced memory, or are they going to think that I'm just Looney Tunes about that as well? You know what I mean? It's that, it feels like that type of thing. Like, it's been difficult for you, but you have learned to kind of carry that in yourself on your own. Now, this person, they have had experiences as well. Could be also psychic, paranormal, or traumatic things that are psychologically, you know, not easy to reveal. But they are a safe person. First of all, this is someone that you could be safe with to talk about these things, but also I get the feeling that, you know, whereas you're holding a lot of things in, they might have found ways to talk about it more. Like maybe they have a trusted family member who they can turn to. I don't know, like if they've had mediumistic experiences, like let's say they've had ghost experiences, maybe someone in their family also has these experiences, so they can talk about it more openly or something like that. Or maybe it could be a counselor that they have that they know they can trust with this type of information. I'm not saying it's necessarily supernatural. I'm just saying that both of you have things that are sort of secretive that you know you can't just tell it to anybody and everybody, right? Whether it's traumatic or supernatural or whatever. It's like it's not the type of thing that you can just open up and tell to everyone. They're like unusual experiences or something like that. Unusual and or uncomfortable experiences that you can't just talk about in casual conversation. They've had more experience finding people they can open up to about this type of thing than you have. And that's coming up for some reason. Let's explore. Well, I think partly it's just a different life path. The two of you just are different people. And this is just a difference in your journey. And it's meant to be that way in a sense for both of you. This person is meant to be more of an open book about those types of things. Right? Like maybe they came upon a Sasquatch when they were hiking and they tell everyone their story because they feel like it's important to tell that story. But I think for you, here, there, the Knight of Wands, you're the Justice card. I think for you, what you are choosing to do is also right for you. Maybe you just needed to know that. It could be that you are comparing yourself to them or something. But like what's right for you is right for you. What's right for them is right for them. You're both making the choice that suits you the best in terms of revealing these things. But also, like, part of what brings the two of you together is that you both have had these sort of strange experiences, or like, I'm not going to go through the whole definition again because it's going to be different things for different people, but these experiences that it's hard to talk about, you have come together for a reason. It's almost like collaborative in a sense, because I think that you are meant to learn to open up to this person, for them to become a confidant. That is part of the journey. Going back to that Page of Cups and Page of Pentacles, that's part of the journey for the two of you, is learning how to open up to emotional intimacy and learning how to create stability and share a life together that can endure. And for you to do that, you are going to have to meet each other halfway with these very interesting experiences, because they're not just experiences, they're talents. Because, whatever this is, I'm going to, give paranormal experiences as an example. Like, generally the type of people who have these experiences are people who do have like ESP or some sort of, it's a talent. It's a something that you're born with and you can develop it. But you are meant to sort of collaborate in some way, and that could just mean talking about it and understanding your own self better through the process of talking to them about their experiences. It doesn't necessarily have to mean going into business or anything like that. It might mean that, but collaborating in the sense of like two people sharing some special experiences that they've had. Maybe it's, again, going back to something that's psychological in nature, maybe it's important for you to understand how the human mind works and the way that repressed memories could resurface, if that's an experience that you've had, right? That having had an experience like that gives you a personal insight into a psychological phenomena that you can't earn that insight through academic study, right? Like it's something that you would only understand if you've had the experience. Sure, you can understand it in a certain way if you've studied it in a book, but you can't understand it in quite the same way if you haven't experienced it. And also something here could be, there could be some sort of mental health diagnosis as well, or something like that that you or them have experienced. It could be that type of thing where it's like, oh, it can't just go around talking to everybody about having DID, or, you know what I mean? Like, being manic depressive or whatever. It could be any sort of things like this, but I'm just saying, like, I think that this connection is meant to free you from the need of all this secrecy. Like, you need to have someone, at least one person, who you can tell these things to and feel peaceful about that. And I feel that this person is supposed to be that person for you. And that doesn't mean that you need to rush in. You can still take your time. Like, it's you have trouble trusting that you can tell someone these things, and it's okay to be a little bit selfish about that, and keeping things to yourself. The Empress is normally a giver. Maybe there's a part of you that's like, well, am I withholding myself from them by not telling them? Am I being dishonest in some way? Am I being unloving in some way? No, you're being someone who is understandably nervous about revealing certain things, and it's okay to take your time. But this is someone who I feel that you will, over time, become comfortable enough with, that they can be a confidant for you about these types of things. And that's part of your going the distance. I did not expect anything like this to come up in this reading, but maybe I should, because I'm a weirdo and I attract fellow weirdos. I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm just saying, like, some of us we have some wild lives, we have some interesting experiences. But yeah, I mean, I think the two of you do have what it takes to go the distance. You're willing to put in the effort. You're willing to get bored. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be two people who've had like wild experiences, like I've mentioned before, for the two of you to be able to be such a comfort zone to each other that we get the Four of Cups, which to me is like comfort zone energy in a relationship. It's like when we get so comfortable that we're almost a little bit bored. Maybe that's good if you've had such a, like, so many bizarre experiences, right? And like the Ten of Wands is telling me that the two of you are willing to put in the work. Relationships are hard work. I do a lot of personal tarot readings, and it's just like, it does not come easy. You can't force things to work, but you do have to put in the work. What's the difference? I don't know. You can't force things to work, but you do have to put in the work. You have to be committed. You have to endure. You have to persevere. You have to get through the hard times together. I do feel like the two of you have what it takes to do that. And it's almost like, to me, you're a little bit of a safe haven or safe space for each other. I don't know, I'm getting this feeling of two people. Sometimes it's nice to just be with another person and you can just be kind of quiet and get into your thoughts, and maybe like, I feel safe around this person, and so I can think about those things that happened to me that I don't quite understand, or those things that happened that were disturbing or difficult, or maybe highly interesting, intriguing, but also unusual experiences. And this is someone I feel safe being in my head, thinking about that, knowing that they're there. I don't know how else to describe it, but it makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you what I'm saying? Like this person is kind of a cozy blanket when chilly thoughts, you know, they make it easier, because sometimes we do have to process those thoughts. We have to mentally process those experiences. And I feel like this is part of what I'm trying to say. I did talk about opening up to this person, but sometimes it's just like the comfort of having them around allows you to, even in your own mind, just reflect on it and feel safe to do that. Feel safer to reflect on these things. Yeah, I do feel like the two of you are going to learn a lot about, you know, whether this is paranormal or psychological experiences or all of the above or whatever it happens to be. The esoteric, the occult, could be those types of things. Like this Wheel of Fortune, I'm drawn to like the esoteric occult imagery in it. And the learning, like all of these little figures have a book in front of them. You see these two people, they're sitting in front of each other with their little books taking notes. It's like the two of you are really going to learn a lot from each other if you're willing to give yourself and themselves the opportunity to do that. Anything else you need to know about this person? I feel like this person used to be a skeptic. Maybe you didn't know that. They used to be a skeptic about whatever it is that they have experienced, and then their own experiences turned them around and made them see differently. My hair is just really looking bizarre. Sorry, I'm being very vain. So maybe you didn't know. I don't know. Why do you need to know that they were a skeptic and that their experiences... Part of what I'm getting is that if you had met this person at a different time, they might even have been turned off by someone having had similar experiences. They would have been like, no, don't believe that. They were that level of a skeptic. Why else does group 3 need to know that? Well, for one thing, you should know that changed them. They were so changed, you know, from being a skeptic to now a believer because of their own experiences. They were so changed by that experience that it has made them someone who is really willing to give a lot of people a grain of salt. They're really willing to hear people out and be patient as well. They also have learned that it's not a good idea to push people to tell their stories, and they wouldn't do that to you. Yeah, they're very aware, even though they have someone that they can trust to tell this type of thing to. They're very aware that this is the type of thing that can be very disturbing. They've been disturbed by it themselves as well. It's just they've found someone they can talk to. I feel like it's someone maybe in their family, but it could also be a counselor or a close friend or something. But they just know to tread cautiously, I guess. Or anything else you should know about this person or this connection? This person is really sweet on you with the Knight of Cups. I think with the Strength reversed, like sometimes they feel that they should hide that or like not reveal the degree to which they are sweet on you. They're still not sure if you are the same level of sweet on them as they are on you. That's why they're kind of afraid to reveal how into you they are. But this person can't hide that they love to talk to you. Like, they really love talking to you. And it's like, if you hit them up with a text, they're going to respond because they're just so glad to hear from you. I think they sense that you are someone who's really great commitment material, but that you just haven't found the right person. Like, they feel like you've been waiting. Like, you could have given your heart and soul to someone before, right? Because you are that level of committed, or you have that potential to be like super committed, devoted, but you haven't found the person worthy of it. And it's like you've been holding out. They see you that way, that you've been holding out for that just correct person to be the one to be devoted to. But I feel like they just don't know yet if you see them as that person. I think that they hope that you see them as that person that you can settle down with and be devoted to. They look forward to it. They hope for that. All right. So I'm going to get I have a little fortune cookie message to kind of wrap up the reading here. Learn from your mistakes and see them as opportunities for growth is the fortune cookie message. So I feel like they're telling you that's an advice to apply in this relationship. Learn from your mistakes and see them as opportunities for growth. And then the final card coming up was the Three of Swords. Like, I feel like this is reflecting maybe on previous relationships. My hair is just really bothering me. It's not laying right underneath the headband. It's like, okay, I'm sorry for the vanity intruding here. But yeah, learn from your mistakes from previous relationships. What didn't work in previous relationships? Because I feel like the two of you have an opportunity almost to relearn what you didn't learn correctly the first, second, third, or whatever time around. So this is a learning opportunity. But sometimes we see relationships as this is a learning opportunity, and eventually maybe I'll move on and I'll have learned something from this that I'll use in a future. That's not the feeling that I'm getting here. I mean, who knows what will happen, but I feel it, to me, it feels more like relearning the correct way to approach relationship issues that you had a maladaptive approach to in previous relationships, so that you can have the endurance and the longevity that you need in this connection, in this relationship. But learn from your mistakes and see them as opportunities for growth. There's definitely a need to reflect on previous relationships, any baggage, anything that's similar to what you experienced before in other relationships, because I think there's things that are similar in this relationship, but they are approached so differently, and that's what makes the difference. And your spirit guides want to point that out to you, is that you already are learning from your mistakes from the past. See how part of the issue is that you just weren't with the right person, and because you weren't with the right person, those issues with that previous relationship, you couldn't resolve them, but with this person you can resolve them because it's a different person and together it clicks more, right? You're growing together. I mean, that's what we got at the beginning, that you were growing together, and that's what we're getting at the end. Learn from your mistakes and see them as opportunities for growth. Yeah, the two of you are just cute little students of love, learning together. It is adorable. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.